Hello there. This is Simon. One of the things I'm most excited about with the new Salesforce platform is it has a number of tools that will help us innovate much faster. And one of them is this flow tool. And this is the canvas that you're looking at here. And what this flow tool lets non-technical users build even relatively complicated workflows and service flows right on a canvas with sort of a drag and drop canvas like you see here. And what's really cool is that I used it. I'm a non-technical person. I used it to rebuild our entire death claims process on this canvas, which I'll show you in a second. I then used another Salesforce tool. They have a website building tool called Experience Cloud. And I used that Experience Cloud to create a little website, and then I launched the flow onto the website. And so somebody can log in at that website and actually do a death claim and have it appear as a case within Salesforce. So really just did it as that proof of concept that that a non-technical person could do that. I did it in my Trailhead playground. Both the flow and the little website. That just opens up huge possibilities for us because there's obviously lots of other service procedures that we could use, right? It's not perfect, as a flow. It doesn't get the data all the way into RPay, for example. But with all the data in Salesforce, we can eliminate all the paper forms, the paper death claim forms, and that's 90% of the benefits. And it has a lot of the major elements that we'd need and a lot of the best practices, including data validation and conditional paths and document uploads and stuff like that. And best of all, it can be really easily recreated in our sandbox or even in our production org. So without further ado, let me jump into it. This is the canvas you can see where I built the death claim. There's the main app page. You'll see that there's a claim option section for the type of claim, and then based on if you select spousal continuance, there's some sub options. If you select settlement account, there's some settlement account sub options, and depending on the settlement account sub option, you can pick income years, income amount, guarantee period, and then either of these two options, spousal or settlement, will come back and get you to the new beneficiary screen, because if you're continuing, then you're going to need to name new beneficiaries. After that, it's going to create a case in Salesforce. To that case, we can upload the death certificate. If you're not a U.S. citizen, we're going to ask you to upload a W-8 Ben. If you are a U.S. citizen but you're living overseas, we need your W-9. You can upload that. Individual beneficiaries, there's a little text for that. For minors, there's some special text. For trust, there's some special disclosures. Estate, I'm sorry, that's an upload for the trust, an upload for the estate. Corporations, we need you to upload your corporate documents. If it's a collateral assignee, we need to upload for that. Power of attorney, we want to see that uploaded. Name change, we need proof uploaded. And then finally, a bunch of warnings. And then we upload all that information. The record, you might recall, was created way back up top. We're now going to update that record and give you a confirmation and ask if you want to do another beneficiary. Okay? So that's kind of the flow. I just want to check to see if I missed anything. So what will happen at the end of this is that we'll come back into this is my Trailhead. This is my little practice region for Salesforce. But you can see here that chronologically, I created this case on the 18th. Today's the 19th. That's Mabel Magwitch. And I'll just update it here. And you'll see I'm going to create a case for Mary Lincoln. She's going to be the beneficiary for Abe Lincoln, but Mary Lincoln will appear up top here. Okay, so let's go check out the flow. Okay, so like I said, it was launched out onto a site. So if I go and fire up a new web page and I go to that site, which was created by Salesforce Experience Builder, and I go and fire up that page, I should get a login page. So I come here and I log in, right? And I put in the password. Whoops, and of course I did that wrong. think I know what I did wrong here. So and that gets me to this web page, right? And the beautiful part is this flow that I created, this flow automatically generates all that web code, right? So you'll see here, there's a lot of data validation built in. So for example, if I go down here to SSN, has to be a 9-digit number. And if I only put in 8 digits, and then I say, you know, or even if I think I just click out of there, if I just go, no, let me just see what happens here. If I go down here and say next, it's going to show me all the fields. All the fields with the red asterisk are required, and we can make any of these fields required, but these are the ones I made required. It's going to tell me, hey, this is required. And if I made a mistake on the error, it's going to, in a particular data entry, it's going to say, hey, this needs to be a 9-digit number. I only put 8 in, right? So let me quickly go through here. You can see all the data validation that's on there. There's also going to be some conditional paths that we go through, as I showed in the flow, and then some opportunity for document upload. So the policy number, we'll just put in a fake number. The decedent, I'm going to say, is Abe Lincoln. And date of birth, it automatically, you know, forces a correct format, which is great, you know, and I can go back and make Abe kind of a little bit older. And a date of death, let's say he died this month sometime. And again, now I'm going to put in the correct 9-digit zip. Let's say he died of natural causes. And then the beneficiary is going to be Mary. Remember, we didn't have a case for her back in the case list view. Beneficiary, she is the spouse. Gender, she's female. Date of birth, again, it's going to force a correct format there. We can give her a date of birth. Okay. Let's give her the correct SSN with 9 digits. And the phone, also this is going to say it. If I don't put in the correct digits, it'll force that. This one, it also forces a correct email format, but I'm going to do that and put that in. Address, I'm just going to skip in the interest of time, but it defaults to the United States, and you can see all that stuff. Beneficiary role is required, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to say this is an individual beneficiary, but if I added any of these other things, there'd be a document upload. How much tax do you want withheld? I'll just say 3% federal, and I'll say, 4% state. Payment information, where do you want it to go to? I'll just say checking account. I'm going to say that that's Chase, and the routing number is whatever, and the account number is whatever, and the account holder name is Mary Lincoln, right? And then I go to next, okay? And hopefully it lets me go through. I didn't make any mistakes. Great. So now we get to the first conditional pass, and it's going to say, hey, you got a bunch of options here for your claim. What do you want to do? There's lump sum. There's spousal continuance. There's other ones, right? The two most complicated are spousal continuance and settlement account. So let me do the settlement account. You'll see what happens here. Well, let's actually just do lump sum. If I do lump sum and click next, it should just take me straight to my death certificate. There's nothing else. All I need to do is give the death certificate, right? But if I go back and say previous, let's choose one of the complicated ones, like settlement account option. There's going to be a bunch of steps before I get to death certificate, right? So now I click next, and it's going to ask me, because you want to do that settlement account option, which one of these 4 sub options do you want? So let's say I wanted to do life income for a guaranteed period. That's going to take me down another conditional path. What guarantee period? Let's say I select 15 years, okay? And then it says, okay, great. What's the payment start date? Let's say, okay, I want to start that, the 24th, okay? And I want it monthly, okay? And all of these are conditional paths like you saw back on the flow, okay? Now, since it's there's going to be a continuance of the annuity, I have to put in new beneficiaries. I didn't make these required, but we could do that, right? So I'll just put one in. Let's just say Todd Lincoln, okay? But you can see I got room down here for a new primary, a number 2 beneficiary, a number 3 beneficiary. Right? None of these are required, but we could make them that way if we wanted to. And then I go to next. And now, finally, it's going to get me to the death claim, right? So what the cool part is now I can upload a death claim certificate, right? And I got it right there. So here's the death certificate. And I just say open. And now it's going to upload it. It says done, right? So that's going to go up. So remember that we uploaded one document, right? And then we go next, okay? And again, let's just say that now if I am a U.S. citizen, I just say yes, and it's going to take me to, are you living overseas, right? Are you a citizen living outside the U.S.? But let's go back and say that Mary Lincoln is not a U.S. citizen. Maybe she left the country, right? So now I go next. It's not going to take me to living overseas. It's going to say, hey, you're not a U.S. citizen. Since you aren't a U.S. citizen, you have to unload your W-8 Ben. So, hey, let's upload that. That'll be the second document we upload, which is my W-8 Ben. Okay, so now I do that, and it uploads it. I say done. Okay, now it's going to ask me, hey, are you a U.S. citizen living overseas? But I said I am a U.S. citizen, so I'm going to say no, right? And go to next. So death claim is an individual beneficiary. You're making yourself the claim for yourself. That's just a little bit of disclosure. Now I go to next again. Are you representing your beneficiary a power of attorney? I'm going to say no. If I said yes, you'd have to upload the power of attorney. Have you changed your name, right? Let's say Mary Lincoln had changed her name. If I said no, I would just go to the next step. But since I said yes, it's going to take me and say, okay, upload the legal proof of the name change. This would be the third thing I'm uploading, right? So let me go into name change, right? And I'm going to upload that, okay? So now I got 3 documents, I believe, if I'm getting it right. And now finally I get to just all the fraud warnings, and not the fraud warnings. I'm sorry, just a bunch of disclosures, right? And again, if I don't click the box up here and I just go down, it's going to say, hey, you need to click that box. And you're going to see when we get to the case, it shows if I clicked all these boxes, so it shows I read the disclosures, right? So here's page 1. These are the state fraud warnings, okay? Then the next page is, have I read about what I can do to contact my state to request a review of my claim, right? So I have to click that, excuse me. And then I got to click next for that. And then have I read all the other disclosures about IRAs and minors and everything else? It's just sort of miscellaneous disclosures. So I click that, and then we should finish here, I think. And then it's going to ask me, hey, do I want to do another one? Thank you very much. Received your claim. We'll be back in touch shortly. And all the data is now in Salesforce. If I wanted then to submit another death claim, I would just click that, and we should start over. Okay? And there it goes, right? And the beauty part is, and here I'm just going to switch over to my desk cam, right? Is it works perfectly on mobile, right? So I don't know how much you can see this, but there it is on the, the same process, but on the mobile app, and it works perfectly. You can fill all that stuff out, and somebody might actually want to do that because then they could use their phone to take pictures of those documents, right? So I just wanted to show that. When you launch it on the flow on the website, it's immediately optimized for mobile. Okay, so we submitted the claim via the website form, and now let's see, did it show up in Salesforce? So if we click back into our Salesforce test region, there's Mabel Magwitch, and if I just refresh, we should see Mary Lincoln show up, and there she is right above Mabel Magwitch. And if we click into that case, we can see all the information that we entered on the web form, right? Including the 3 uploaded attachments. There's the death certificate, the W-8 Ben because not a foreign citizen, and then her name change document, all her information, phone number, email, individual, female, date of birth, all that stuff. All of the deceased information over here, right? The tax withholding, the routing number for Chase and the account number, the settlement option, the guarantee period, 15 years, when it's starting, monthly, the citizenship information, and then the the disclosure information. And the cool thing is, right, this is all the case information automatically into Salesforce. Now, it's not perfect, right, because it's still not data into RPay. But when we get the data into Salesforce, we're 90% there, right, because we can eliminate the paper form. I could, even if I don't have a link to RPay, I can have folks manually type this data from Salesforce into RPay, and it still gives me the opportunity to eliminate the paper form. So it's fantastic. And this is a real case in Salesforce. So I can, do different things on it, and then it starts out new, and I can mark it working, escalate it if I need to, and then closed finally when I get everything, if anything's missing. And then I mark it as current status, and I get a little shower here congratulating me. So that's basically it. Thank you very much.